Hi everyone, it's Celeste and welcome to my channel. My channel is all about cosplay. I teach you tutorials on how to do the outfit, how to do the makeup so you can become the character of your dreams. Today I'm actually going to do a requested original cosplay, and this is going to be a water fairy cosplay. This cosplay is actually not worn by me, but my friend Bianca. You actually saw her in my Hunkamula haul, and I did a drunk stream with her on Twitch, and we hung out a lot. You've probably seen her a lot on my Instagram story if you follow me on Instagram, and you see other things. So let's go ahead and just get into this. This is kind of, I feel like it's a long video. I don't know why it's this long, but I edited it and, you know, that's where we're at. So if you're new to my channel, welcome. Hi, I'm Celeste Orchid. I've been cosplaying for 15 years, and please subscribe if you're part of the 96% that is not subscribed to my channel. Please, I hope I can entice you to click that red button down below to become a member of my sewing pin cushion called YouTube. All right, let's go ahead and get into the tutorial time. Here you can see this beautiful fabric that I have here. I'm really happy with how it looks. Like, you can see the fabric looks like it's like an ocean beach, and then it goes off in waves. So this is going to be perfect for making the water fairy base and skirt area. So I'm going to be cutting half of this right down the line here, and then turning that into a skirt piece. I'm also going to be using this nice mesh material for the base of the bodice, and then of course we're going to have the skirts. I'm going to start decorating it more with some beads, these sequins, and then of course these sequins. Look how pretty that's going to look. And then of course have some of these as well. I went ahead and strung one strand of beads to see what it would look like, and the seed beads look pretty nice. Super excited. So what I did do was I hemmed all of the edges of that piece of fabric that I just cut out. You saw a little bit of it. I'm going to sew the top pieces together here and kind of toga it and drape it downwards. This way it's going to create kind of like a flowing river motion, leaving the dark parts of the flat fabric attached, and you can see it here. But now we need something for the underneath. So now I'm going to be using a fabric such as this. So the fabric is going to be kind of like a nice teal, I guess. This is like a mint green color, so I think it will look really pretty underneath. So if I just hold it like that, it doesn't take away from the first fabric. I didn't want it to be too contrasty with this fabric because I want to use this to tie the dress underneath. I went ahead and sewed all this mesh together to make a nice vest piece, so that way I have something to cover her body with, or the fairy style. So now I'm going to use leftover lace pieces from my wedding dress to emulate kind of just like leaves and vines. Then I'm going to start draping more of the fabric on top. Hopefully that'll help close the gap here, and then it's easy to slip on. This is power mesh, so it is very stretchy, so I might just actually go off and like sew this part together here at the bottom and go ahead and sew these together. Like I said, I will be using some seed beads and some other beads. Where are they? And these beads for some dimension and crystals. I think it will look really pretty. So that is what we're going to go for. The one fun thing about fairies is that there is no wrong way to be a fairy unless you're just going to be mean to someone. So yeah, that is the wrong way. So I'm just going to slowly start placing lace appliques all over. And then once I'm done with that and sewing it down, I'm going to create a bottom skirt portion. So I want to show you how far I've gotten with embellishing everything. Let me take off this little top piece. So I created this little, I guess, mesh shirt. Yeah. So I made this mesh shirt, and then I went in and I added all of these fine little beads and crystals, not really crystals, but sequins to it. And then I recycled my old wedding lace pieces. I only really have like this small piece left, and I don't know if I could actually just put it in somewhere, which is kind of disappointing because it is such a beautiful material. But I did both sides. What I'm going to do is close the front using a hook and eye in the center, like probably two of them. and then the shirt will be done. Now this bottom thing down here, this is actually going to be like a cover shawl kind of thing, a toga thing, if you will. And I've never really done a toga thing. I think it will look really cool. Sorry about the bad angling. Okay, so I wanted it to have a little bit of the lace as well. This way it just blends so good together, and then we'll be able to take it off and on. Originally I was gonna sew it down to the shoulder line because I thought it would be cool if we have the shoulder here, but I was like, that doesn't make any sense. So I'm actually going to go this way instead. So I like how it looks. It's so pretty. I love these like iridescent sequins here. And it goes down with the cerulean blue sequins. There's a little bit of pearls, but not a lot. Of course, there's silver sequins, then the scattered throughout the baby blue beads, and then silver beads. And the silver beads actually are in two different sizes. So I have elongated pieces, and then I have like really small seed beads. Now I'm going to be taking this blue cerulean fabric because I was doing color matching, and I'm going to be using this as my skirt material. And with my skirt, I'm just going to make a very cute, simple circle skirt and make sure it wraps around the front. And this way it's positionable. I was thinking that it would be better if it wasn't just like always draping and hanging. I think it would be fun to have a cute, flirty skirt. You know what I mean? I figured to save me time on the skirt, I'm just going to cut out this skirt from this pattern and then create it that way. I know I've done different tutorials on how to make skirts yourself, but right now I can't be bothered to do that. Alright, off we go to cut it. Up. You guys have no idea how long it took me just to get to this point. Originally, I was really upset if I cut the entire fabric. I want to get as much of the fabric as possible out of this. And of course, I didn't really want a super long skirt. What's wrong, Bowser? Can you guys see him? He's right there. Anyways, so I wanted to make sure I get the most out of my buck with my fabric. It isn't going to lay properly because like the arrow shows that it's supposed to go downwards this way. Instead, it's supposed to go this way. I don't care. This is my skirt, my project, and it's okay if I cut it on the wrong bias. So yeah, it's just gonna be like that. Anyways, this is gonna be a wrap skirt. I'm using the rest of this fabric for Spirit Blossom Ari, so I didn't want to use this originally, but looking at the color wise, that's where I'm going. So now it's time to take our beautiful scissors and we're gonna cut this bad boy out. I don't really want to bore you guys too much, so yay. And so with the magic of editing and just fast forwarding time, because that's what editing is, I already sewed together the skirt pieces. This is the skirt front and this is the skirt back piece. But what you don't know is that I'm actually going to add tulle underneath it. This is leftover wedding dress fabric that was not used when I first bought it. It was tulle. And I was thinking it would be nice to use it as illusion mesh. Didn't work. So instead I'm going to be pouring this into the bottom of this skirt. And I actually cut up more strips of fabric so I can make a waistband that wraps around. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to cut this into lengths. I don't know what kind of lengths, but kind of just like this, and place it underneath to give it volume so it doesn't lay flat, and use all of it because I don't really use tulle that much. I don't know what I'm going to use it for in the future anyways. But you know, part of sew your stash is sewing up all your stash. Mine is this one. I need this for something else. So what I'm going to be doing is just measuring out the length. It's okay if it's off a little bit because I think it will be fun to like add little stones underneath as well. And just give it a little bit of flair. Although I do want to wear this out in public, so I guess I won't. And now I'm just gonna use the rest of this and sew it to the top part of the skirt and then cover that with the waistband. The waistband is going to be 2 pieces, so I'm gonna fold it over and then use it like a bias tape. But of course I had to sew it together, and you can see like I had to Frankenstein it just a little bit, but I'm kind of excited to see how this progress goes. So yay. Let's go ahead and get ready into this. And we're back. I'm sorry that it seems like I'm just skipping through a lot of pieces, but what I did do was I folded over the tulle and then I cut it in half. You can see how puffy it looks just from the back alone. When I wear it, it actually has a little bit poking out underneath. I actually really like that. I didn't think I would. I was gonna cut off more of it, but I think it's really fine how it looks right now, especially with the little white part puffing underneath. Some people might not like that, but guess what? That's what I like, and I'm gonna keep it that way. And that's one thing about fashion that you can do, is keep it the way that you like. So now I'm just going to take my ribbon pieces here, and I'm going to create my waistband and call it a day. Well, I mean, okay, so that's not true. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to sew these two pieces together and create kind of like a bias tape. And then I'm going to use it to create a band that goes all the way on top of it. Yeah, I'm going to do that. In order for me to do that, I'm going to take this and turn it into an even longer mega strip. So I'm going to just sew these two pieces together on top of each other, and then I'm going to sandwich the skirt in between it. And then from there, we'll see what happens. So it's going to look like this, and then I'm going to fold it over. So I need to sew wrong sides together, and ideally you want to use the selvage edge as the wrong side at the top where you sew it together. Now before I get too far into sewing this, I just want to show you the difference that it makes when you pin and such, but it would be so much better if I just ironed it. So what I had to do was pin the top part down at the seam, and then I'm folded over the seam at the bottom, or just the raw edge, so it wouldn't be raw. I mean, the rest of the fabric is raw, but the waistband, I think it should not be raw. So I folded it over, and now I'm taking it to the sewing machine, and I'm going to sew it all together, making sure that it is nice and compact, and the raw tool at the top isn't going to stab my waist, or my friend's waist, depending on who's going to wear this. We'll see how it looks when I'm done, and then we can figure out how to fasten this bad boy together. So, recap. Sewed this together, sewed it onto the skirt, pinned the top close, or better yet, you should actually iron it, fold in the selvage edge, and then sew it down. Anyone want to answer the question why I'm so psychotic? I decided that I wanted to add a embellishment stitch or an embroidery stitch from my machine onto the entire perimeter hem of this skirt. It's completely unnecessary, but I think this could just use a little bit of flair, and I decided to do it with embroidery. So let's go ahead and just do that. You don't have to do this, but I'm psychotic, and I guess I'm doing it. So one of the biggest reasons why I made this cosplay was because we were going on a trip to Germany, and I was just thinking, how cool would it be to have like a ferry shoot in the lake in Alps. I thought that would be very gorgeous. So I asked her, I'm like, hey, do you want to be part of a really cool concept that I have? She's like, yes! So we jumped on it, and she thus became my model. She did her makeup, and the cool part is she actually streamed on Twitch how to make the fairy crowns. So if you want, go ahead and click her information down below in the cards, I think maybe. Either in the cards or in the description box, I have Bianca's Twitch information. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial video. I know I'm not in it, but if you like seeing me dress up other people, leave a comment down below. Maybe someday if I get big enough, you guys could be someone that I dress up. That'd be so much fun. I think it would be fun, right? All right. Well, thank you for, I keep saying thank you. Like, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. How many more times can I say thank you? I don't know how many more times I could say thank you. But if you haven't checked out other videos that I have here on my channel, go ahead and check now. Thank you so much for coming in, and remember to stay inspired, be creative, and I will see you in a future video, as long as you subscribe to my channel. Bye!